and I really hope and wish that they wise up and they actually come to places like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and they talk to the people they're asking to vote for again. Because if they don't, they're going to lose their most loyal and dedicated voting base. They have black women, God bless their souls, but they've always had black men and women, and they're splitting our voting base. When you have one of the most powerful Democrats in Georgia, Vernon Jordan, Vernon Jones said he supported Trump. Vernon Jones, one of the most powerful Democrats in Georgia. Do you know how many in his constituency are going to follow him? So, Joe, I'm just saying, I want the best for our communities, but I want the people who are asking so much for us to actually come to our communities and be advised by us and engage us fairly. You know what I'm saying?
What if he grabs Stacey Abrams?
I think Stacey Abrams is going to be a great politician one day. She's going to win a state race and potentially be our next governor. But let me finish. Let me finish. I just saw a woman mayor handle a national security and the safety of her city as though she already were a vice president. So if you were asking me which black woman I'd like to see, I'd have to say Keisha Lance Bottoms did a hell of a job handling Atlanta. So that's just to say, if you're going to put somebody black in there, I would put the person I've seen run a city in there. Because again, I'm not voting for personalities. I'm voting for people I've seen execute policy properly.
I like what you just said right now. And I'm with you for the Second Amendment. 1,000,000%, man. I think people should have the right to guns. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, that's just one of the.
It's not even a debate. It's in the Constitution, baby. Like my history, like my social studies teacher told me in high school. It's in the Constitution, baby. It's for you too. And I smile big. So you know,
I mean, I'm not against it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against somebody protecting their home, somebody protecting themselves. I'm not against it. I've never been against it. And you know, even like places like New York, even places like LA, you know what I mean? I think, you know, they should review it. Now in New York, you get $2 for a gun, and then you get time for the bullets.
Man, God bless y'all. I got caught with a couple bullets coming through the airport, and man, I had to hire a lawyer and get my stuff straight. And luckily, I'm a concealed weapons carrier. I'm a license out of Georgia, so it wasn't as big as issue. But you know, all jokes and stuff aside, black and brown people, you live in this country. Enjoy every constitutional right you have, because the club of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant people have enjoyed it for 400 years. And I'll be damned if I give up any right before I get a chance to enjoy it, because you worked hard for it. Black and brown people have built this country, and it's no way you shouldn't enjoy your full constitutional rights. So what I'm pushing for, more than being able to have the coolest AR-15, is for you to know that you have every right promised on that piece of paper, and what you look like should not affect that.
That's a beautiful thing, man. And I agree with you on that. I'm telling you the truth. I agree with you. You know, I feel good that people could protect their own homes. So even when I'm here in Miami,
but Joe, let's always remember now, the Second Amendment is not about just protecting your home. It's protecting yourself from tyranny. And what black and brown people are experiencing in places like New York with stop and frisk, in places in Minnesota where a policeman will execute a man by suffocating him with his knee on his neck, that is tyranny. And there may become a day where this country becomes so tyrannical that the citizens have to retake control of the republic. Now, I'm not saying that's tomorrow. I'm not saying that's 10 years from now. I'm not saying it's 20 years from now. But to have a constitution that ensures that it's possible is a precious thing. I would rather have a gun and never need it than never have the ability to defend myself if needed. And when black and brown people talk about government and tyranny, you have to remember that there has been a war against Puerto Ricans at one time in this country. There has been a war against black people and brown people in terms of post-slum slavery and Jim Crowism for over 100 years in this country. There is a war going on with immigrants in this country now. And you have to understand that you're always in perpetual war. And you have to use every constitutional right that allows for your own protection against government, not just against your fellow citizen.
I hear what you're saying, man. It just when the white people said, I think they sound crazy, and then when you said, I'm like, holy shit. Like, Killer Mike is making some points. I wish it doesn't get to that, but I understand the laws are set up for you to own guns because of that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it is. And as far as police putting their neck on people, I believe that it's time. They did the right thing recording it, but at some point, you got to jump on the cop.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
to
man.
push the cop.
One of the most
You got to
beautiful
swing on the
things,
cop.
one of the most beautiful things I've seen in all of this mayhem is in New York. When I saw a black man be attacked, a white woman throw herself in between that man and that cop. And in other instances, a bunch of white skate kids pull the cop off. You don't have to kill a cop. You don't have to hurt. You don't have to get a charge that's gonna get you in jail the rest of your life. You can get a charge that's gonna get you a light 2-3 days, and we're gonna send those lawyers. Like, we have a National Lawyers Guild. If you go download the Run the Jewels album for free right now, or if you buy it, you have the option it for free of donating to the Lawyers Guild. Or if you buy an album, we donate. We've raised $75,000 today for these lawyers go get protesters out of jail. So you can pull a cop off somebody. You might take a bit of an ass whooping, but that person lives, you live, and these lawyers come get both of y'all out of jail, and then we deal with the case and make sure the cops are dealt with. But it's high time, absolutely. We cannot sit around and see people get murdered anymore. Grab the back of that motherfucker's neck and mob on those motherfuckers and pull them off that human being. That's a human being. You have a responsibility to preserve human life, where a motherfucker with an ego and a badge and a gun has lost sight of that.
And so I've been seeing that. So just like you, I've been seeing people seeing injustices with the police manhandling people and people just jumping in, pulling them off like, yo, we're not going for that no more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And watch you just straight up kill somebody for 8 minutes.
Absolutely.
And we film it.
Absolutely.
That cannot happen no more. We got to tackle these guys and pray for the best.
Absolutely.
You don't catch an ass whipping. Hopefully we don't get shot.
Absolutely.
But that's what it takes.
And I'm going to tell you this too, Joe.
An innocent man get killed.
I'm going to tell you, we have to do this as well. And I have to give the credit to this idea of Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gangbangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mutulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Fort or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after as a community. If we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur, and Mutulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently Swiss was talking about that of hip hop artists. You see, we see our pioneers who invented the hip hop culture and got pretty much robbed for everything, and now this is $1 trillion business, but we gotta see the pioneers looking fucked up out there. So Swiss is talking about getting the collection together to take care of them. I'm with that too.
I'm with the collection. And Joe, bigger than that collection, The record companies that are saying they're going to black out, fuck all that blackout. Get black and brown people in the offices. Black out your motherfucking office. Brown out your office. And then, beyond that, if we raise money for the pioneers, you give some money too, goddammit. Because they built the industry all of us are profiting from. We stand on their shoulders artistically and financially. They became the cornerstone of the music industry. So the corporations we do business with, instead of giving money to UNICEF and the YMCA and the United Way and the Red Cross, give some money to a fund that will pay these people back in perpetuity for the things that they have given us that keeps us on our feet to this day. And pay fair, like my man KP say. Yeah, don't chump them off. Pay them people fair.
Let me tell you something, bro. The whole music business has been, to me, a Ponzi scheme, has been